Welcome back, I'm Fujiwara, your vintage denim advisor. Today we have something very special in stock. We haven't seen it in a while. Over the years I've seen lots of different minor jeans from all different brands. But the one I have here is very rare. This is the pair I'll be talking about with you today. So this right here is the Boss of the Road. It's the name of the brand. They're American, from San Francisco. The brand was established around 1880. The brand was made for workers primarily. Nowadays, you tend to only find coveralls and overalls. So here you see, a bulldog is used as a symbol of the brand, just like the horse for Levi's. These workwear brands like to use animals as the motif for their brands. No different here, you have the Boss of the Road and their bulldog. And their bulldog was surprisingly popular back then. These pants are a little bit like painter's jeans, but these have 5 pockets. Here I have The Secret History of Workwear. The book was put together a few years ago by World Photo Press. It was written by an American, then later translated into Japanese, again by World Photo Press. In it you can find a little bit of information about Boss of the Road. I'll show you here. Here's an old brand catalog. The Boss of the Road bulldog image is the same one as you can see here in the advertisement from 1917. It's the same one. In fact, this brand was bought out by Lee in the late 1940s. Finding something like this from the early 1900s is very rare. So, looking at the details, I think it's best to compare with Levi's. Here it is from the front. The first thing I noticed is the lack of belt loops. And if we compare that to Levi's, we can tell for sure that it's from before the 1920s. The buttons at the top here probably rusted and fell off, and then replaced later on. Just like these lower buttons, which are also rusty, and some are actually missing. I can't tell you when these buttons were replaced, but new ones have been attached. Looking at the suspender buttons now, these buttons still have Boss of the Road written on them. And if we look at the back, it also has a buckle back design as expected. And next we have the pockets. Well, Levi's has them as well, but the rivets. The rivets are applied on the outside. And this back patch. Their patches are the coolest thing ever. Again, it has Boss of the Road written up at the top. And this Lot X. So cool. Very similar to Levi's Lot 501XX, but this one's written Lot X. The size shows 34/31. It's a popular size out there. Now, I haven't tried them on yet, but I could probably wear them loosely. It's a good size. And since these don't have belt loops, I would have to wear them at the right size. Let's take a look inside. Both stitchings here are already double stitched. Again, if we compare it with Levi's, both stitches here have been double stitched since 1915. The waist also has a very thin seam, which I think are very similar to Levi's. If we look at the model from the 1918 advertisement, we can tell this model is from the late 19 teens or even 20s. Of course, advertised as work pants, these may have come from a guy who worked in the coal mines in the US. Sadly, most of the jeans that have come out of those coal mines have already rotted away. Although some of the buttons have rusted and are missing, the fabric is still very strong for how old they are. One of the differences between these and Levi's is that Levi's usually has a selvage on the side called an ear. But these have double stitches both in and out, so there are no ears on the sides. This is also a double chin stitch. Some missing buttons, but nice pockets, and even a coin pocket. Again, in the back we have square pockets like we talked about before. If these were Levi's, here we'd see their arcs. It's very possible that Boss of the Road also used arcs at one point. Another interesting thing we can see on the right pocket here. Many times this happens because of wallets. This almost looks like it was from something spinning. Because of this, you can imagine what he carried around at the time. Could have been a coin pouch. I love finding these little details. Very interesting. And back to the front. It looks like the front part here had been torn, and then somewhere along the line repaired. So I opened the button fly, and inside I found another little patch. One piece fly is what it says. This cloth is sewn right in with stitches. On the outside, these rivets have no writing, but on the inside, the rivets on the back of the pocket say B of R, which would stand for Boss of the Road. The rivets have the brand name right on the back of them. Like we discovered earlier, these were made in the late 19-teens, early 20s, a very rare find. Boss of the Road, 34, 31, but here are the actual measurements, 33, 29.5, so they've shrunk a bit. These are special jeans. These will be on sale at the store. The Boss of the Road, very special jeans. Again, the actual size is 33 in width and 29.5 in length, written as 3431 on the patch. 1,300,000 yen plus tax. If you like work jeans or collect rare jeans, these are for you. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Here I talk all about vintage denim and other vintage clothing. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.